biggest takeaway you take away from your football in general? Like, what has that taught you the most?
It taught me, I think it taught me discipline, and it taught me also in the negative part of it, if I lost that discipline, that my career could go downhill. And obviously my discipline stopped when I was using the things that I started garnishing more, which was the money, going out, being a part of, Rockaway. Like I was around a lot of entertainers, Beyonce, Jay. I was around a lot of people that I thought I'd never be around, and I was in my early 20s being around people that you end up on Jay-Z shot. Like it's things that you never see yourself doing it. You believe you could do it, but you never see yourself really following through and being in those positions. And once you lose the sight of what I really loved when I was a young kid, when I played for free and all that, it started to change my mentality when the checks came in. And when you look at them checks and you go from, having a little college university card where you just swipe for a little $10, $20 and you get a check for $300,000, like what do you do with that? You kind of lose touch with reality a little bit because you obviously live on a different plane than everybody else. So you start taking a lot of things for granted, like working hard and being disciplined on off field and stuff like that. So if anything I took away that I gave my heart and my soul to a game, and I also I lost a part of it, a lot of it, and got it back because I understood where my journey had to go. And I think a lot of guys get down on themselves because they think, oh, this is it for me. Like, no, this is where you had to be to get to the journey so you can then be in a situation where you're helping young guys like yourself, and this is the situation God has put you in, so you have to run with it.
So that's what got you here to understand and be able to speak with us, and we definitely appreciate that. My second question being, obviously going back to, what's your favorite game you played in, and what was your favorite moment like? It doesn't matter where. You can talk about DC, we can talk about Penn State.
Yeah, I think it's two. Actually, Penn State would be the Michigan State game when I busted over for 2,000, because we started it as a joke, laughing in the preseason, like, yeah, I'm gonna get 2,000 yards this year. Like, who says this? Like, this is my first time starting. Who says this type of stuff? So then when it actually got to the point where I was gonna get a pitch, and I only needed 18 yards, but even busting it for like a 36-yard touchdown is something that was so surreal to me, because I did it with my uncle being on the sidelines, my dad being the coach, my mom and my sister in the stands, and my brother on the field when I did it. So it was kind of weird and surreal and beautiful feeling, because they have been with me through when I was 9 years old playing football and learning how to play football, and gotten to a point where I wanted to quit football because I was getting hit too hard. So it got to a point where it came to all together in front of like a hometown crowd in a perfect situation. That was like most beautiful moment ever I had in football. And obviously in the pro league was actually my very first touchdown. And at that time when I got to the league, coaches used to tell me, like, this is not college. You can never take the ball in reverse field. Like, you can't be Walter Payton. So funny enough, against the Chicago Bears, I was playing mop-up time, and I get a pitch, and at that time I didn't understand the way plays are written in the NFL. You really have to kind of stick with it and it'll open up for you. I took the pitch, man. I turned right back. I beat one D tackle, and that was my first touchdown. Was basically off a rule they told me not to do. Trying to be a guy that I shouldn't be, and it ended up being my first touchdown. It was something that was like a great feeling to me, because I really didn't get to play my rookie year. I really sat out the first 2 seasons, and actually the third year I came back, and then my first touchdown was it was an amazing feeling.
I was just gonna talk about how we talked about Monday. He mentioned that he was just spending time with like celebrities like Jay-Z and Beyonce, and that just reminded me of how close hip hop is with sports and athletes, and how they go hand in hand.
Yeah, he was like, he described to me, because watching him younger, I realized he would always throw up the rock. So I asked him, what was that like, being like under Jay-Z, and he explained that. I don't know if you want to go back into detail.
It was a real feeling. First, it came with Dame Dash had Winky Wright and Zab Judah under their Teen Rock label. So then, of course, every rapper identifies themselves with their, street legends, or guys who play basketball, guys who are in sports. They kind of wanted to branch out and did the same thing what Nike did, Reebok did. They wanted to get guys who were up and coming that they could put, the Teen Rock label on. And so it happened to be me and Jonathan Vilma. We're both young guys who were up and coming. And then, sooner or later, when I got into the end zone, I started doing it more and more. it became a thing. Like, everybody followed suit. Everybody in Kansas City was doing it. They don't know why they were doing it, but they were doing it.
Yeah.
And then when Dame Dash and Jay-Z split from Rockefeller, Jay took the name. And so he said, all right, we'll do Rockaware then. We're not going to do Team Rock anymore, just do Rockaware. So I did Rockaware Big and Tall. I had, the Kansas City Chiefs linemen in the Big and Tall ads and stuff like that. It was a real cool feeling, man. Like to go to a billboard, you see yourself and your offensive lineman up there, and it was just a ill feeling because you were all at all the parties, you were all celebrating with them and stuff like that. You were part of the 10th year anniversary, so it's an ill feeling.
And this is why I didn't even know about that, but that's just the relationship he can understand, because the relationship an offensive line and a running back has, especially with them, like it was something for us to get Wanya to 1,000 yards, especially he was at one point we was leading the nation in rushing on all levels.
Okay.
So it was at that point to where I understand the relationship he has. So for him to be able to think not just about himself, for him to put his 5 linemen in a Rockaware ad so that way they can be exposed, because obviously his face, they can market his face. He was at a prominent position, but for him to not even be selfish enough to not just think about himself, for him to put the offensive line, that just raises my respect level for him more than what it already was. So I would say the last question is, now that you're in a better space mentally and everything, what do you want to see happen for yourself?
For me, I've already reached where I wanted to go, and my dream was to play in the National Football League, and I did that at 23. So everything else I make after that is pretty much extra cheese. Like, but I really want to do. What I really want to. My heart's passion is getting young men like yourselves to actually open your eyes more past what you see on the surface. It's a whole lot of world that we don't know below the surface, and it's so hard to kind of get guys to open up their minds, because this generation is a lot different from the generation I grew up in, where now you bombarded with so much information. How you know what is true, what is false, like what's the narrative they're trying to spin on you. Mm-hmm. So I go out and do speaking engagement because I want young guys to see a level of understanding or see a level of deceit that is going around you to make you say not go B but go A.
Okay.
To make you do A but not B. Mm-hmm. I want you guys to see both levels and both angles so you'll be able to make educated choices, because like I said, we are owned by maybe the top of $3 billion or $1 trillion families in this world. Everything funnels down from the information to the clothes on your back to what we study to what we do here. It's all funneled down, and you have to pick through the information to find out what's